Okay, so how do we make this graph? We're making a double bar graph, and here's my data here. My first reaction, baking soda and vinegar, is here, and then my calcium chloride and baking soda solution is down here. This would be page 81. This would be page 79. We're going to do one graph for both, and we can just refer to it. All right. So the first thing we're going to always do is we're going to go with our x-axis. So go ahead and go to the bottom. We want to count up about 4 lines. Count up about 4 lines. Now you do not need to use 1, 2, 3, 4. You do not need to use a ruler. We just need to have a somewhat straight line. And I'm going to count over a few lines here to give me space on my y-axis on both sides. Now my line graph is going to be a little longer than yours because I have a larger piece of paper. Now I'm going to go with my y-axis, and I've given myself a little space. I'm going to go ahead and draw this all the way up, which for you is going to be about 10 lines. So we'll stop about there. And then we also need to do on this side, because we're going to do a bubble bar. I want you to watch what I do with my y-axis. Because I know I'm going to go with positives and negatives, I'm going to draw this all the way up. Alright, so now what I need to do is start labeling what we're doing. And so the first thing I need to do is I need to label my before reaction and after reaction for my line graph, and then my over here is going to be my bar graph with my y-axis over here. So I'm going to start with putting a line coming down and just labeling this what it is. Alright, and this is temp before reaction. And I'm going to go a little down and do temp after reaction. And I'm not going to label anything over here because I'm going to have positives and negative values. So let's go ahead and now look at my data and try and decide what should my high and my low be. So if I look for my high and low temperature, my high and low temperature is a high of 44 and a low of 17. So if I subtract these from each other, I'm going to get a difference of 27. So I've got 27, the value of 27 needs to go from here all the way up, all the way to the top. And my low is 17, so I got no value below 17. So if I take 27 and divide by 10, the answer is going to be 2.7, which is less than 3, so I'm going to have an interval of 3 on this side. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump straight to 17 though. So how I do this is on the very edge, I'm going to draw this little back and forth line. This means break and scale. So if this is 0, I can jump and start right at 15 right here. And that's going to allow me to get up to 44 and not have all this empty space where there's nothing written. So I'm going to go ahead and write this as 15, and each line is going to be 3. And I'm going to count and do every other one. So 3, 18, 21. Alright, so this would be 24, this would be 27. This would be 30 and 33. This would be 36 and 39. 42 and 45. And I've gone above my high value, so I can stop right there. Now let's go ahead and label what this is. This is temperature. And we'll put degrees Celsius. Alright, so now we need to figure out, okay, actually now I'm just going to go ahead and graph. So I have my data right here. Now I have 2 different sets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label this, and I'm going to say that my with my data table over here. I'm going to say this green is going to be baking soda and vinegar. So now I'm just going to graph my data. I'm doing a line graph, so I'm looking for dots. Alright, so I went from 21 and went down to 16. So my temperature before was 21. So I'm going to go up and put a dot right on 21. And then after was 17. So I'm going to go with 15 plus 3 was 18. So about a third of the way down, it's going to be 17. And now, since it's a line graph, I'm going to connect my two lines. And so now I just connect my lines. And then I have showing this line graph of over time what happened to the temperature. Now we're going to switch over and do our second reaction. And I'm going to go ahead and be careful where I'm going to put this. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this first before. So I need to start at 34, which would be 30, 30, 33, right above 30. Remember, this one right here is going to be 36. So my point's going to be right here. All right, and my second was 44. So after, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to 40, here's 45. 44 is going to go right below it. And just like I did before, I'm going to draw my line between the two of them. Okay, and now I have my line graph down. And I'm going to go ahead and label this one up here. Then my red is baking soda. And calcium chloride. Now, however, we're going to use our second y, and we're going to look at our difference. Right, and our difference here was negative 4. And our difference here was positive 10. So now we're going to use a different scale and a different interval. So I'm going to do the same math that I did before. My high and my low. Okay, so my high is 10. My low is negative 4. So I subtract negative 10 minus negative 4. Remember, those two opposites make a positive, so that's going to be a plus, which gives me a difference of 14. Right, and if I take 14 divided by 10 spaces, all right, that gives me 1.4, which means if I go with 2 degrees, I'm going to be good, and 2 is a nice easy number. So I'm going to start here now. I'm not going to have a break in scale though, because I need to show the difference between my positive and my negative. So I'm going to start by putting 0 as my base. I'm going to go negative 2, negative 4, negative 8. I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Since I'm above this now, I can stop. I'm going to use the same color as I used before. So the baking soda and vinegar was green, and that was a negative 4. And this time, I'm going to draw my line from 0 down to negative 4 to show that this was a negative. The temperature actually dropped. I'm going to use red, and that one went up 10. So now I'm going to move over one space, and I'm going to go up to 10. So here's my line for 10. I'm going up to here. I'm going to mark my top, draw my line down, and then add some color, not too crazy, for time. Now I do need to label what this is. I know that it's negative 4. I know it's 10. I know it's for baking soda and calcium chloride, and baking soda and vinegar. But what is this? Okay, this is our change in temp. And now I've just graphed my data.